So I'm here today with Marcus Mayers from the Rail Alliance.
Hello, it's good to be here.
So we were just talking about the concept of mobility as a service and how it's going to impact the rail industry in future. So if you can, just give us probably about the 5 key points that the rail industry needs to consider.
I think the key thing for me about mobility as a service and rail is it's about selling tickets. We've already seen Trainline and people like that take 10% of the ticket sales away. And that's because they're offering a better value proposition for customers buying tickets. What they're not yet doing is integrating multimodal tickets. But even in the short term, if how we try and sell tickets to passengers doesn't improve and the quality of information that surrounds it, we will continue to lose ticket sales to third parties. And bear in mind that's potentially 3% margin or 3% of revenue which gets given up for every ticket that's sold. This is a very, very large impact on what's a 2% profit business.
Right. Yeah, okay, that sounds a worry.
It's also an opportunity because we have an opportunity with digital coming on to rethink how we interact with customers. We're a mass business, we move millions of people every day. And never before in human history has there been the ability to have a personalised relationship with those millions of people. Technology allows us to do that, which allows us to move them to trains at different times by making recommendations and just generally trying to smooth the flow and create a more efficient operation. So if we do it right, we can retain that income and protect the business from the likes of Uber, but also smooth the requirement for travel, leading to less peaks and troughs in demand.
What would your, let's say, call for rail be?
Think about ticketing in a new way. Ticketing has been a profit centre within individual businesses or even a cost centre within individual businesses. But people don't consume travel just as a rail ticket. They consume a journey from their door to door. We know that. A lot of the operating companies who run trains also run bus companies and have other interests. If customers want an integrated journey, what can we do as an industry and as operators to offer that integrated journey and create one-stop shops? Because in effect, that's what Uber do. Uber make it easy. It's not necessarily better, it's just easy. We need to offer easy and convenient so that people can have journeys without having to worry about how they get from the bus to the train or how they're going to do it at the other end. It all just needs to be handled by them. Yes, it's people thinking less, but that's what apps do. They free up people's brains to do exciting things like Facebook rather than difficult things like should I get the bus, the train or a taxi. So how do we engage with that agenda? We have to think about the information passengers want and how we can use that to our advantage to shape their behaviour in the way that we all know that people like Facebook and LinkedIn do.
Okay, good. Got me thinking about that. Lastly,
yes,
for someone, you're obviously an interesting person who works in rail.
Thank you.
Rail industry. What thoughts, insight, or advice would you have for someone coming into rail now?
There's a lot of people in rail who believe in the status quo. The railway industry is very old. It's very conventional. It's very conservative. In innovation terms, it's at what you might call the top of an S-curve. There's not a huge amount of development, or you could argue it's potentially at the bottom of a new S-curve. I would contend that people will become increasingly mode agnostic and more quality of journey driven over the next 5 to 10 years. And that might be the next S-curve is intelligent mobility or mobility as a service. So it could be a very exciting time to be in rail, but I think it's the time where rail needs to stop acting in isolation and start considering how it interacts as part of this massive global network which is digitally connected. So we need people from other industries with fresh ideas. I think the idea of a job for life in rail will increasingly become a thing of the past unless your job is to integrate technologies from other sectors. So it's really about thinking how we become part of a global transformation in travel and what that means, how we need to interact with other aspects of travel and how we potentially create new modes.
Okay, new modes. You heard it here first. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Liam. It's a pleasure.